What's up, guys? We're back. So far, Bomber is beginning a comeback. We'll see how far he can take it with Shine winning the first 2 games.
Yeah, I think he looked a lot better in that third game. Maybe, like we were saying, he was a little bit tired, taking a little bit of a nap during that delay, and started off a bit slow, but seeming to hit his groove there in the middle of game 3. If he can roll with that momentum, he could definitely take another game here. We're going into merry-go-round.
Shine in his booth right now saying, okay, what cheese do I need to do now? And he's going into his cheese supercomputer. He's going, whoop, it's like in the Matrix. It's like that old movie Hackers or Sneakers or whatever it's called, where they're in the VR system. He's going through different storage bins in his mind, pulling out different files, thumbing through different folders of different kinds of cheeses. How do I end this game in 8 minutes? Goes through all those folders. No, let's go to 9 minutes. Let's go to maybe punishing him in the first 6 minutes and dragging it out to 20, but I have all these drones. Let's see what he's got.
That is the question, but up here in the top right, in the red, our Terran player, he is
Bomber.
Down here in the south, in the blue, our Zerg player.
Samsung Galaxy Can Shine.
Support here for Shine.
The Typhoon Zerg
Says, let's go. 3-1 victory.
Apparently, I guess that may be his nickname in Korea, the Typhoon Zerg. Never heard of that one, though.
Yeah, I have not actually heard. I thought we knew most of the nicknames for the Korean pros, for the Korean scene. But, no, I would say it would make perfect sense for him to be nicknamed Typhoon Zerg, considering his playstyle.
Yeah. Definitely would agree with that. I really wonder what Shine's going to go for here. Is he just going to try to play another straight-up macro game? Based on the positions on this map, sometimes you can spawn decently well for the third base for the Zerg, sometimes not. And this time it's not, because if he wants to take that third base over to the right side, he's going to be expanding closer to the Terran. You never want to do that. And he's going to be forced to take that middle base north of his main. And it's going to take forever to get creep out there and try to defend that. There's like a huge, wide open area around that as well for the Terran to just come in and attack from many different paths. And they got to get split on, so I wonder if Shine might not just go for some kind of 2-base thing. I mean, we were talking about Shine.
Yeah, this is the position to do it in, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, guys, download our app. Punch in the favorite thing people like to complain about in Twitch, Medium or Riot. And, give it a shot. Let us know what you think. Let us know if there are any problems. Tweet at GOMTV.
Yeah. Looks like that's today's code.
Don't tweet just directly at me. This is what normally happens here. People are like, Tasis, why are there ticket sales? I'm like, I don't know, guys. Like, I also built the booth I'm sitting in, and I also programmed the gamer casting. I did everything here.
Tasteless, I can't believe there's still no HP
Tasteless,
bars.
why is there a swarm host in this game? I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know what to say.
Speaking of that, the patch is coming through on Friday, I believe, for Korea. So the swarm hosts are going to be changed up here. It's going to be the Flying Locust, I believe. And, that could definitely change up some play from Zergs. Going into next week's games of StarCraft. Going to be very interesting to see how they adapt. It's a pretty huge patch coming in. I know there's a couple other changes, but I forget the other ones. I think the Swarm Host is the biggest one.
It's always good to have these changes come out, and we get to see the game develop, and we see the pro gamers begin to adapt, and a new meta begin to evolve. Roach Warren! Dun, dun, dun!
I like it. Actually, I love it. I think it's perfect.
Oh, no, Bomber, you greedy, bad man. Bad boy.
I think you wanted to say something else there, Tasteless, but bad boy's okay too. Oh, you didn't?
I didn't.
All
I
right.
just I did. I couldn't get it out. I don't know. My mouth is dry. I got to drink more water. No, he's going for the Roach play.
Yeah.
And this is, guys, just it's another variation of low econ aggression.
It's perfect because Bomber is always just so greedy like this. On this map, he makes a third CC, no scout, no Reaper build even. He goes CC first, and he's not even going to know this is coming. He's going to rely on one bunker here filled with, I guess, 4 Marines by the time this hits. That's not enough.
I guess Marines with their space rail guns.
Yeah.
have fun against roaches and their acid spit. No, seriously, this is going to be very hard for Bomber. Guys, Bomber, one of the most famous players in StarCraft 2, is about to be eliminated by Shine, who keeps doing what he's doing, knocking out more revered players than them.
This is going to be an incredibly hard hold.
Yeah, there's a tech lab being made right now.
That
the reactor just got done, so there's not a lot that can help defend here. Now, note the one Marine in the front. That's to spot and give him like a half-second lead in response time, which you don't think is a lot if you're a normal gamer, but that's like a full minute in StarCraft 2 time as far as reactions go.
I want to point out that Tech Lab is huge because it opens up that tank tech. If he can just hold off here, if he can get the repair there on the bunker, I think he should be able to squeak out one tank and hold this off. It's going to be really, really close here. This game is definitely not over by any means.
He's just gunning down all these SCVs, and it's working very effectively. There's not a lot of Marines, so these roaches are not dying anywhere near as quickly as the SCVs are here for Bomber. Now going for the bunker. More SCVs are being pulled.
He needs that tank out right now. Just waiting on that tank, and in fact, only 5 roaches remain, and he's forced to back off even without the tank.
14 SCVs were killed.
Yeah, it's true, but I mean, this isn't, you know, the same position that we had in the last game where Shine's on 3 base. He's only got 2 hatcheries. He's got a lair now, but Bomber's got 3 orbitals.
Huh. Well, let's see what he does with this. We don't have siege mode being upgraded just yet here. In fact, he went for 2 ebays, which is interesting. Sometimes we see players when they're forced to get the tank set to do like a Marine stim tank medevac push.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to be the case here. He's going into a Spire. Now, it's fairly even in worker count. Zerg is trying to crank out as many drones as possible, but, you know, like you were saying just a second ago, Valdez, you have 3 orbitals. It's not hard to replenish workers.
Yeah.
Poor mules. So let's see what Shine does here. I said at the start of this best of 5, Shine's a guy who doesn't just have a good plan A. He's usually got a solid plan B and plan C.
Yeah, and it seems like plan C is to just play pretty standard. He was getting roach speed, but he canceled it.
He's going to go into mass muta, I think, with the amount of gas he's saving up here. I think he wants to go mass muta Ling.
Yeah. Definitely a good transition. Just get the mutas out on the map before drops can even come into play here. And just get that map control for yourself. You know, even though that build, it didn't kill Bomber, it did open up that 3rd base. It gives him a lot of time to get this up, to spread that creep, to, you know, get the lair and get the necessary tech here for the mid-game of ZVT. And we may just go into a pretty even game from this, from that really interesting start.
You might be right. What I'm worried about is that Shine sacrificed too much. I mean, yes, Shine got rid of SCVs, but, you know, like we were saying with the 3 orbitals, you can remake the workers pretty easily. In fact, they're dead even. And Zerg was on 2 base for much longer than Zerg should have been. Zerg needs to be a base ahead all the time, right away. But it seems like Shine is transitioning pretty well. I think we'll have a very good idea when we see how this first push goes here. And, of course, how well Bomber actually controls it, by the way, because no matter how ahead of Terran is, if he gets hit by Bailings or even, you know, medevac skilled by mutas, it's bad. Oh, well,
Bomber hasn't identified that there's 7 mutas on the map. He's going for a double drop here. There's no missile turrets in the main. Uh-oh.
Now, also note that these medevacs are not turning around, and there's really nothing to defend over there.
At the same time, that drop could do a very large amount of damage. 1-1 just finished for the Terran infantry units. But like you were saying, not a lot of defense there.
We've had 8 workers killed already down here. But the hatchery will be killed here for Shine. This is going to turn into a very scrappy game here for the 2 parties. Terran is losing countless SCVs, whereas Shine lost. Remind you, because it's Zerg. It's not just a base that he's mining from. That's actually a production facility as well. So, I mean, pretty big blow there. In fact, I think Bomber should actually drop again right over here. I don't know if he will.
I think he's got to go back and defend the mutas. He has some Marines, but they're not in position right now.
Yeah,
and more SCVs are just going down. He's trying to micro this drop, but he's losing so much in his own main.
Yeah, I mean, the number of SCVs that has been killed off now is becoming comical. The mutas are coming back now, which I guess they did enough damage. I mean, Bomber will eventually, as long as that harass goes on, will eventually have enough Marines to hold that off. So looks like he's very interested in trying to just stop this drop and get back on his feet here.
Yeah, looks like he wants to
God.
totally shut down that drop.
Not an unload.
Your call on the mass muta actually was exactly correct. He's making pretty much only mutas. I don't think we've seen any banelings, actually. We do have a baneling nest, but mainly just focusing on those mutas. He's got 17. He already has the +1 to attack for those mutas. And why not? Bomber has shown some weakness to defending all these mutas, so...
Yeah, Bomber, I think, in a bit of disbelief that after holding off that rush, this game is looking like it is right now. Thank you. Gets rid of that turret there. And this is a pretty scary number of mutas. I mean, it is going to make it very difficult for Bomber to win with any drops. So Bomber now has to win with a push. And let me follow that up with this statement. Look at that sexy creep spread.
Yeah, very nice.
That is the purple pick road in this story, man. That is going to be tough for his opponent to go down.
The one thing you could say is that it could be a little bit thicker, but besides that, I mean, it's already really, really close to the third base of the turn.
I think it's a matter of the queen number again. I think if you do a two-base play like that, you just don't have enough queens, man.
Yeah.
There's no way to
You're
have
dumping all your minerals into just making roaches.
Yeah, exactly, and then you're behind a production facility. But that's true, too. I mean, you make a good point. If Bomber just goes down there and kills all those creep tumors, that avenue is gone. So maybe that's what he should be doing next year. Oh, sick.
There's just so many mutas out already. Oh, man. He's actually going to hit this factory. Really nice. Now he can just back off. He loses a minimal amount of lings, and he's keeping Bomber's army totally back. Bomber has half of his units in the main. He's just trying to defend. But at this point, we do have the 3-3 going to start here for Bomber for the Terran. That's really, really nice for him. Shine still doesn't have a fourth base.
Oh, man, that's a serious push. You know, as slick as Shine was looking here, that is just a very terrifyingly large number of Marines, Marauders, Medevacs pushing down here. 175 to 152 here. Is Bomber just going to smash him?
He may be able to, man. The way that Shine was trying to play is just like this backdoory, trying to base trade way. He's even making a base all the way to the left side of the map.
Yeah, which I do like in the situation, but I don't think he's going to be able to salvage this.
Yeah. At this point, he's taking a lot of losses. Bomber now maxed out and ahead in upgrades. The 2-2 just hasn't finished for the Zerg just yet. He's going to catch a nice amount of units here for the Terran. This is a good trade for Shine right now. He's keeping that Terran army very far back, but...
Okay, well, you know what? I mean, he is pulling him back. I will give him credit where credit's due. This is really... I thought Bomber was going to keep pushing forward and just try to go into the heart of the Zerg's base. It's a tough call, too. I mean, you see different Terrans respond differently. Right now, Shine's put all of his capital into just trying to make enough banelings that with one big, proper attack, he might be able to level this army. Let's see if it works.
Shine is really good in these scrappy situations, but Bomber
oh my God,
may just have too much.
No way, man. This is no way.
He's got a lot of banelings, but doesn't matter how many banelings we have. Oh, look at this. He wasn't even mining for a little bit here. And looks like he's just trying to go for a counterattack or maybe just pick off reinforcements. No, this is a full-on counterattack.
This is really weird that we have Bomber actually pushing that left base. But I guess it's fine in this situation. Well, is it? Is it actually fine splitting up your army like this? Let's see. No, you know what? That is just too much. Okay.
He's just got too much on the map at this point.
I'm like spending so much time looking at the mini-map talking about tactics, and then I just look at the supplies and the actual size of the army, and I realize there's no way. GG. We're going to game number 5, boys.
Bomber's able to pull it through. Very nicely done. I just love the fact that Bomber's kind of tailoring his own style to Shine's style this time. He's like, okay, I just need this one tank just in case. Just like he did on Expedition Lost. He's like, okay, this makes me safe even if I do go for that 3cc kind of build.
Shine, I'll tell you, man, I think he went with the wrong build for the Roaches there.
Yeah.
I think that had he gone for the Ling Baneling play that we saw in Game 1, this would have been a different game. But now, Shine's looking in a tough spot. This is one of the reasons why we make it a best of 5 and not a best of 3 in Code A. Yeah. There's a lot on the line. A player who can prepare well for a best of 5 will always do well, or should always do well in a Code S over a player that can figure out how to win you know, 2 out of 3 games.
Shine showing visible frustration after that loss. And we were talking about this with Ragnarok versus Deer. It can get into your head when you're up 2-0 and then you lose the next 2 games and you go to game 5.
Yeah.
It's a very big game. We're going into King Sejong Station, our final map for this series.
King Sejong Station will be the map. The most historic StarCraft II map. And it's all down to this one game. Has Bomber fully adapted, or does Shine have another trick up his sleeve? We're going to find out here in this final game between these two in the GSL Code A.
Down here in the bottom right in the red, our turn player. He's won 2 in a row.
Bomber.
Bomber making it work without a team.
Did you see that ghost across the screen?
I saw that, man. That was scary. I backed off of my screen.
So when I had to turn and look at it like it's Super Mario, it stops moving.
And up here in the top left, in the blue, our Zerg player, he is.
Samsung Galaxy Can Shine.
Wow.
Pool first. Pool first.
He's really doing it. This is Shine, man.
Like, well, stick to my roots.
Yeah. It's going to be a 9 pool.
Now, okay, well, hold on. I was going to say, is it going to be a CC first, but oh my God. It's time, guys. And someone called Chester the Cheetah because this game is going to be really cheesy. This is cool. Oh, man.
I thought he could have been going for gas, possibly for banelings, but it was just a double extract trick, in fact.
Bomber's like, cheese me, I'll cheese you, I'll show you. And Shine's like, this is what I know how to do. So what we have here is 2 players that are both attempting to trick the other one, which puts us into one of these very special games that we don't get to cast all the time. A game that you don't even get to practice all the time.
Yeah,
these builds are engineered to beat a normal build. So
I don't even know if I've seen a game go this way before. Like 9 pool versus 2 racks.
I mean, I've seen it before, but it always turns out differently. Theoretically, Zerg should win, but that always depends, right? Now, what Zerg wants to do, and depending on this position of the Marines here, trap the Marines in and then send a few lings down there to hit SCVs. Okay, nice. Needs to go back. Go down. There we go.
He's got to set up a wall.
Now, this whole time, Zerg has to keep making drones and just try to get ahead because these lings are going to come down here. Although, you know, I do wonder if you could do a baneling follow-up with this, if that's actually worth it. I don't have.
Then
again, I guess you'd have so many minerals you could probably make bunkers. I mean, I've been playing Protoss, so I don't actually know the nuances of stuff like this. But anyways, like the lings come up here, as you can see, and this is the perfect follow-up here for Shine. He just starts to hit these depots. While this is going on, Terran has to repair this. That means lost money repairing as well as lost money not mining with those SCVs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Zerg takes an expansion here, keeps making drones, and you know there's an array of different ways to play the game, but you got to just think of all the lost time spent not producing from that barracks. Canceling that other barracks, the later command centers.
Yeah. It's just very, very inefficient. And even more SCVs come over here to repair.
And, you know, the real conclusion of this story, guys, is that it was a cheese versus cheese, and Shine's cheese worked. Because even though Shine was expecting to maybe have Bomber go for a quick command center and win that way, what did end up happening instead was that Bomber got greedy and went for this proxy barracks, and now Bomber's behind because he had to lift and go back. Look at this. This is so sexy. Look at this.
Yeah. With only 1 Marine, it's just not enough DPS to push him back, so you just force even more time repairing those supply depots and taking those SCVs away from mine. He's even going to come back.
I really like that. I'm surprised he didn't go back up there further. I think he was checking also to see if, you know, there was another command center. Sometimes in moments of panic like this, Terrans continue to make buildings too close to the entrance because the SCVs are repairing over there, so you can just peek up.
Shine is, he's not making a 3rd base just yet. He's actually getting 2 gas. And I wonder what the follow-up is going to be from him with those 2 gas. I suppose it could be a lair, but I mean, it could be like a wide array of different things. Could just go Banelings and try to break that, but I don't think that would be advisable just with the tech where it is for Bomber. And it looks like just going to be at third base. Get that gas.
You know, ideally you do want to have one ling under that CC when you're doing a build like this, because Terran can actually afford to go down there.
Yeah.
Okay, Bomber doing some stuff right. Getting that next command center. And I think Shine is really going to err on the side of caution with this. He does not want to lose any extra lings. Note, he is getting ling speed, he's getting a third base, and he's getting a layer. Yeah. So this game is actually quite similar to, now I'm forgetting the orders of the game. Which game was it that
and it was like
he did it wasn't game, no, it was game one actually.
Yeah.
It was game
where
one
he
where he got
kill him, but he got so far ahead and then he just transitioned into macro. That's basically what he's doing here. What he's saying with this build is like, oh, I've done so much damage to you, I could just get so far ahead. Like you were saying before, just make drones and play a standard game from behind.
Yeah.
From behind this build, when in fact you're very far ahead. And that he is. Ling speed in the lair. I think he'll just transition into straight up Ling Bane Muta. And Bomber's just gonna have to try to play from behind.
Okay, here we go now. Bomber with a double E-base again here. It's a tough call for him too, by the way, because maybe some schools of thought would say that he would have to push here to gain an edge, because sitting back for this long would allow Zerg to just get everything he needs. I mean, when you look at it, Spire's already started, okay? By comparison, Stim is just now started for Bomber.
It's kind of hard.
It's a tough call here, but then again, if he pushes out and it doesn't work, he loses, and I guess that's not really Bomber's play. That's not the game that Bomber wants to try to pull off. Yeah. And I think there would probably be some even greater TvZ experts who would say no matter what, he can't push. He has to play from a disadvantage, which is possibly correct as well. So,
yeah, I don't think he can push just because he's so far in the upgrades, especially Stim, like you were saying. I don't even think he's got a starport. The first one is coming up here, so not even Medivacs. And there was Ling speed completed for Shine, so I think Bomber doing the right thing here. Unfortunately, though, like you said, he is playing from behind.
Yeah, and he's just in a deficit.
The one thing that Bomber does have going for him is that he got those two E-bays going a little bit faster than Shine, and Shine has been showing a lot of weakness with those upgrades. He gets 1-1, and then he either gets a very late 2-2 or he doesn't get it at all. And that's been a big mistake for him in these later games of the series that we've had between these two players. And so maybe Bomber identifying that and saying, okay, maybe if I can get my upgrades out here a little bit faster, I can win this game, even though I am a little bit behind.
Well, I think the question that this comes down to is the third base truly secure? If you note, there's no bunkers he's making there because he is low. He's just spread out his Marines. Stim is going to be finishing here, but there's, fairly open areas we can see in this panning shot, to harass, to do damage with these mutas. Can those Marines get put out of position? Can Zerg then get enough Lings and Banelings and everything else to try to come in here and do a big attack? He might try to go over that tech lab. Now he's just going to pull out. Okay, so you can see the Marines are now being resituated.
Yeah, force them out of position. These two Spore Crawlers are pretty interesting. Just trying to shut down some drops. Just be as safe as you can when you're ahead. This is one of the things I like. You're ahead, you can use those extra minerals to just be extra safe.
Now notice how many barracks he has, because the defense was so sparse.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Cool. Okay, so he's booby trapping the center part of the map.
It looks like there were actually there were two other Zerglings that were burrowed as well. Very close, I guess, just for vision.
Oh, I didn't catch it. Were those Lings? I thought those were Banelings.
No, the two Banelings, right. But then like two Lings also very near them, just for vision.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we recently saw a huge Baneling landmine there on this very map. I forget who the players were. I think it was either Pro League or SSL, one of those tournaments. The GIF was out there on SC2 Reddit for a while. You guys can probably find that in the archives.
And now we have the mutas coming in here now. They're going to just hit that turret, back up. Again, this is just keeping Terran in defensive posture here. Now notice he's making banelings everywhere because there's a chance Terran doesn't push out of that area over there. I think there's a lower chance he's going to push out from there, but if Terran, let's say Terran pushes out here through the left side of the map, the banelings will then try to go up there and hit the SCVs, those ones right there. Try to hit these SCVs working at that base we have at the left side of the screen.
Very smart by Bomber to set up a bunker there right away once he notices that those rocks have been destroyed.
Oh, I'm surprised by this. I think the pressure's starting to build up here for Shine because that was totally uncalled for and unnecessary. You don't just send that out with your fingers crossed.
Yeah, without knowing what's up there, you know.
For as close as this game is now, with Bomber really getting into high gear, he's nearly caught up to Shine economically. I wonder if we have to conclude that Shine can only win on gold-based maps here at the end of the series.
It's possible. Shown that before. A little bit of a push. Uh-oh.
Oh, well, you know what? They're not quite over it, so I guess better luck next time with that.
Pretty big push coming out of Bomber right now. He's got 62 Marines, but really nice
These are 2-2 Marines, by the way. These are not going to die very easily. And it looks like, actually, he might even be pushing towards the second base and into the heart. He might try to make this a killing blow push, not a push to shut down bases.
2-2 is not done for Shine right now. He's pushing forward. And the Banelings are not getting very good hits, but he's coming from behind, trying to get us around with the Lings. Even the Muta is fighting against straight-up Marines here.
My God, man, just so much Zerg right now. Wiping out Shine. The Lings, the Muta is just too much, especially with that good surround.
And the 2-2 finishes after the fight.
Yeah, still, Shine is in great shape here, forcing a pickup now, a retreat, a full, complete runaway for Bomber. Bomber back to his home turf now. Only one available base on Shine's half of the map left to be acquired. As Shine is looking very dominant, teching further now, droning up, linging up, mutaing up, banelinging up.
Even though Shine went for what Artosis would have called a anti-timing there, fighting without the 2-2, he still just had so much stuff that it didn't matter. I think that was a mistake. All those Banelings going in with the Chainlings, I don't think he was just trying to catch Bomber off guard there, but I'm not sure if it matters, man. He's 5 base to 3. He's got the map fully covered in creep. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shine was just too good at the engaging. The angling was just too nice. Okay, now is this one going to work out?
He puts one Marine over there. Shine's like, should I do it?
His finger's itching over the detonate button. Okay, so he's chased him out now. God, it's crazy that he's been walking through a minefield this entire time. I gotta say, out of all the people that seem to attack with just Banelings, I'd say Shine wins that trophy. A lot of times just unaccompanied Banelings.
He wins that
rolling through here. Now, Bomber's coming up. He wants to try to stamp out this base over here at the top center. It looks like Shine does not want to engage with his full army. Instead, he wants to try to counterattack over here in the hopes that he can start to damage these stray units as they're pulling around. He has a small force over here to help defend. But the rest are coming down here. Another small force over there to take out the rest of the units that are now attacking. Or excuse me, that expansion over there at the top. There's like too many attacks going on here. I'm like running all over my words. He gets the CC, a victory there for Shine. However, Bomber does destroy this expansion up here.
I don't know if he has to go for those counterattacks. He's losing so many Banelings to buildings.
I think you're right. I think you're totally right.
I feel like he was ahead enough to just fight straight up, but now as it stands, the +3 attack is about to finish for Bomber, and he's got a lot of bio. This game is not over.
Yeah, I think Bomber has intimidated Shine enough with these big-ass armies. And Shine never wanted to engage, and even though Shine was having some victorious counters, ultimately you will have to deal with this giant death ball. And
+3 is finished. He's on the creep right now. He catches a lot of these Banelings out before they can be fully morphed.
Look at this spread over here. He's totally ready for the attack from behind. Just the right amount of Marauders there to soak up attacks. Okay, you know what? I think Bomber has won this.
Oh, boy.
Look, he is so spread out. Enough Marines there to drive away Mutas. Enough Marauders here to soak up Baneling damage. Shine trying to go for some kind of a counterattack.
Shine's going for a base trade here.
Yeah.
And Shine, he's done it before in base trades, but he's also lost before in base trades. This is going to be a very interesting game from here on out. He's taking the base down there to the bottom left now. And Shine's on the production.
Shine needs to get these mutas over on top of the barracks right now. There he goes. And take out the remaining SCVs that are over here. I think the big question right now is what does Bomber have actually? Oh, man.
Look at this.
Oh, sick. Oh, my God. Nicely done. That's so important because mutas are going to be what wins this game. A second set. I can't believe they're split right there.
He split in between those two banelings. That's incredible. Oh my God, those units just running away from the mutas. I think they could have fought it straight up. This game is going to get really interesting from here.
I think Bomber just wins with sheer army size, but again, it'll depend on how many Marines are all put together. Oh my God, that was such a good opportunity. But he's going to be over here. Wait, we missed the Baneling potential bomb. I think a Baneling bomb just went off and killed a chunk of that army.
It's possible, man.
I mean, not an easy game to cast, not an easy game to observe. Definitely not an easy game for either of these two players. It is, excuse me, neck and neck.
Yeah.
I do believe though, yeah, Bomber should just have the bigger army. Granted, it's mostly Marauders. If all the mutas get together, there's 9 of them. Is that ever going to be enough?
He's got to save these mutas. He can't be losing them just straight up. He's just going to GG out.
Wow.
Bomber wins.
Bomber did it.
Whoa.
He is once again in the GSL Code S. Congrats to him.
That was such a sloppy, crazy game towards the end of that one, man.
I think you were 100% correct, Valdez, on the fact that Shine was counterattacking a little bit too much. He did not really want to confront the army. I don't know if that was psychological or simply a misunderstanding of his place in the game, but there were moments I think it would have been better to full-on engage. He didn't do it.
He had an incredible economy. He had like so much bank. He had a ton of banelings. Bomber was pushing onto creep. He took a good fight when he was down 2 upgrades. Why didn't he just go for more of those and just wipe out the army of Bomber and just go for, a successive push after that? I don't know. I think it was just like tunnel vision into thinking like, oh, I can't fight this straight up. I've got to go for the counterattack. And he lost so many banelings in the counterattack. Bomber came back in time to stop it. Eventually he lost 1 CC, but it just didn't matter. He had too much stuff.
For the sake of summary, Bomber versus Shine was a fantastic series. A story of Bomber adapting, adjusting, and overcoming. 3-0 after the first 2-0 lead for Shine. Yeah. Incredible series. Speaks
to Bomber's just experience and ability to not get behind in his mentality as well, and just say like, okay, I got to win 3 in a row. I can do this, and he did it. Very impressive.
He did it. Great series. Definitely recommend that one to your friends. Also, go download our app using the code. Oh, well, this is not even the app screen, but go download our app anyways with the code Medium or Riot. And coming up next year, we're going to have San versus Saxiri. So don't miss that. We'll be going to that in about 5 minutes. Stay tuned.